in Bucky's hometown, well, his new third adopted hometown of Las Vegas, the Raiders are preparing to host division rivals, the Chargers, formerly known as San Diego Chargers. Not only did they lose Justin Herbert last week, who simultaneously broke the hearts of Charger Nation with his injury and fucked me and Shady in a couple of leagues. So we got that going.
Me too.
Which is nice.
Yep.
Missed the playoffs.
It's great going into the playoffs with Stick.
Lost by 7 points, but because Justin Herbert got hurt. I digress. Also on the injury report, Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen is ruled out for tonight's game versus the Raiders. Bucky,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Bucky, who you got, who you like?
Let me just ask you this question. Because they are pretty much out, the Chargers. Am I correct? They are 5-8.
Yes, they are all. They're still mathematically alive, but yes, they're all but out.
But do you think these players might not be as hurt as they think they might be, and they're just sitting them? Like, what do you think is going to happen with Eckler? Like, if they want to get another year out of him, do you think if they lose this week, does he ride the pine? And how many leagues do you have him in? A lot of people depended on him, drafted him high. Well, I've got him in one league, and that's a dynasty league, and I've had him for 3 years, so I've got him. Yep. That's the way it is. But I didn't draft him.
The only one league we have Eckler in, we also had Herbert, so we got eliminated. So that's. I mean, we're still playing.
And I stacked them too.
Of course.
I'm in the consolation with that as well.
So I think
Keenan Allen might not be as hurt as he. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Keenan Allen is perpetually.
Gerald Everett's carrying a questionable tag too.
Keenan Allen is perpetually hurt. He's an older player. He's always banged up. I think you're probably right. Keenan Allen, he's perpetually.
Who are they gonna? I mean, okay. They're saying that Eckler is going to get his. Well, okay, so you were. Let me give you kudos, because you told me. Because I told you I was picking up Josh Kelly everywhere because Eckler's probably going to get traded next year and he's going to be the man. You're like, you reminded me of my own words of number twos, whether it's a wide receiver or a running back, does not translate to number ones. We've seen that with Tony Pollard to a certain extent this year. Seen it with Madison. They're starting to get a little better here at the end of the year.
A.J. Dillon too.
A.J. Dillon's classic. So if Eckler, here's what I would do. If I was coaching that team, based on potential talent, I would be seeing what I have in Isaiah Spiller. We saw what he did in college. He was a beast, and I think he can be Eckler Part 2 if they would just let him get some rhythm going. He gets 2 carries a game, 3 carries a game. He's never gotten more than that. He's never been given the opportunity.
So they're going to need a bigger back because he's not an every down back. They're going to need somebody that can really handle it. Like Eckler. As awesome as Eckler's been, he's not an every down back. Alvin Kamara. As awesome as AK has been, he's not an every down back. Nothing pisses me off more than to watch these head coaches and these OCs call plays where these running backs run right into the back of the line. I hate it. It just makes me so mad.
Son.
But
and I agree with you, but there are really no every down backs anymore. There really aren't. Even ones that are classified every down backs are getting hurt. Mm-hmm. They're not every down backs. There's none anymore. There's none. So Derrick Henry may have been the last one. So Eckler is not an every down back. Neither is Spiller. Neither is Joshua Kelly, especially. I mean, he's been very ineffective, but he's been given chances. Joshua Kelly has been, you brought this up, chance after chance after chance. Mm-hmm. He's failed miserably. So why not give the second-year kid a shot? Instead of just giving him 3 carries, when they get mathematically eliminated, let's see what we got.
Well, I think they're already done. I think mentally they are done. I think Staley knows
Stick at quarterback. I think
Staley knows that he is out as head coach. I think he knows the whole staff is gone. I think Eckler will probably end up holding out if it's not. I don't know how many years he's got. I don't know if he's under contract for next year. If
he's 30 years old.
Because I know that he tried to get out. But, yeah, he looks like he's 30 years old. The injury, getting to camp late, all that stuff, it all hindered him. It all, like, this year was a dumpster fire. The injuries, the poor coaching, the poor management.
It was awful.
Stuff you want
to – Justin Herbert, I was going to bench him this week for Browning if he had started.
Actually, we have a 2-quarterback league where we decided last year that we drafted Herbert, and he was going to be our keeper in perpetuity forever. And then in the second round in this 2-quarterback league, we got Trevor Lawrence. So now we're going to keep Trev instead of Herbert. It wasn't even a thought when we first started.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, someone has to catch the ball in Charger lane. So maybe you start Quentin.
Josh Palmer's coming off IR.
Again, Josh
He's
Palmer.
The one.
Josh Palmer, yes. He's going to line up probably in the one spot, but he's not the answer.
No, he's a number 2.
No,
again.
But no, he's not, because there's no Keenan Allen. So
no, I'm saying if they're all healthy, when Mike Williams went out and they still had Keenan Allen, he functioned as a very good number 2.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. That we don't have that. So tonight he's going to be functioning as the number 1.
It's going to be him and Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, I think you could.
And Guyton.
I think you could probably maybe start Guyton. Sometimes when these rookies or these backups come in, the majority of their reps go to the third, fourth string receivers. Right?
What's the kid? Josh Reynolds.
Yeah,
perfect example of that.
So they have a trust. They have a rapport with those guys. I wouldn't start any Charger. I would start Stick, because obviously he's going to get a chance to throw the ball.
In a 2-quarterback league, you start him.
And yes, and
he's ranked over Trubisky.
Yeah, okay, and he should be. And he was a winner in college. He had
yes, he was
3 losses in college. So there's a lot to be said for those kind of guys.
He's not a chump, that's for sure.
Look, I would not trust Eckler. If you have to start Eckler, God bless you. I know you have to start him. I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him, not as far as I could.
No. I'm going to predict a 6.
On the other side of the ball, you probably want to go ahead and fire up that old Raider defense. They played pretty well, especially fantasy-wise.
Well, if Crosby's playing, he's listed as injured right now.
He's been listed as injured. He wasn't even supposed to play 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "No, I'm playing. I'm totally playing." And if I'm not bad mistaken, didn't last week the Raiders? Didn't they just give up 3 points? Didn't they lose that game 3-0? So
yeah. No. You're, again, to quote you, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
that's a great defense to fire up, especially against this rookie quarterback.
That's right.
And the team decimated. And they're on your waiver wire, and you're playing somebody like. I would be tempted this week to play them over the Jets or somebody like that. Wouldn't you?
Definitely. Well, once you get to the playoffs, it's all about matchups, really. That doesn't always.
I agree.
Yeah.
And listen, people overlook defenses, even in shitty leagues that have poor points, where you only get 5-6 points. We have some souped-up defensive leagues, which, by the way, first year I played in leagues like that this year, and I freaking love it.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, dude. I love it. So I picked up the Rams this week.
Yep. Look, defense is
they're at Tennessee.
A third, it's offense, it's defense, it's special teams, okay? Yeah. The way that fantasy football is right now, everything's weighted to the offense. Everything's weighted to the offensive position players, and defense is an afterthought. If you soup them up, if you give them points for everything, 3 and out, tackle for loss, 4th down stop.
I love it.
All that stuff, you will see a boom in the value of defenses, right? Which
so much fun to watch.
If defenses are more valuable, then there are other players out on the waiver wire. So it actually makes everything a little bit more fun. I would probably start, I don't know if I can just full bore say start Aidan O'Connell, but I would start Devontae. I would definitely start Jacoby. Michael Mayer, man, they seem to be looking at him. But
he's not getting enough volume.
I don't know if you can trust him or not, especially with there being no buys and with everyone playing. I think it's the wide receivers and the running back. I think that's what you're.
Devontae Adams is banged up still too. If they're not, if he doesn't play, a sneaky play is Hunter Renfrow. He's starting to finally get some looks.
Did you notice that he's finally starting to catch some balls and finally starting to get back in it? But do you have the spread?
Yes, and by the way, I was wrong a second ago. It's the reason I picked up the Rams is because they're playing Washington. Oh. The most sacked. Aaron Donald's going to.
And it's
crazy. He's going to have Howell for dinner.
It's crazy to me that he's the most sacked quarterback, but he's still putting up some pretty darn good stats.
I know. Imagine if he was getting protected. That's why, God. The spread on this one, I believe I just looked at it, was -3.
Oh, dude.
Vegas -3.
Oh, dude, I'll take the Raiders all day long. All day long, son. I think
so let me ask you this. Have you heard any recent news? Like I usually get up this morning and watch the recent news, and I just got busy in it. Josh Jacobs, his situation tonight.
I have not, but let me go ahead and just bring that
Because you go ahead and look at it while you are. If Josh Jacobs plays and he's dinged up, I usually take issue with playing hurt players, but I've come to learn that, especially if the team is still in it, the coaches aren't going to put him out there just because they want it to look good. They're not going to put a player out there unless they feel like they are healthy enough to make a difference in the game. So if Josh Jacobs starts, then you start him. If Josh Jacobs does not start, there's going to be a combination, from what I've heard, of my guy who I just think, given the opportunity, I know. Well, you could say what you want. Zamir White, I love him, dude. I do. I really think we saw him in 2 national championships. Come on, man. So the alternative is to play Brandon Bolden. I mean, I know you're going to bring Ameer Abdullah in for third down, but Ameer Abdullah is 30 years old. He's a third down, tiny little Darren Sproles-like scat back.
And he may score a touchdown. Probably not. Okay.
Probably not. He's going to get some receptions. He's going to probably put up 6 or 7, 3 or 4 receptions. You give Zamir White. Find out what you have in this kid. He gets 2 carries a game. He's never gotten more than 2 or 3 carries a game. Josh McDaniels just is an idiot. And so why not, if Josh Jacobs is out, see what you have in this kid. Another SEC boy, and playing in the SEC is like playing in the NFL.
Okay, so I have the injury report. Josh Jacobs is questionable, as is Devontae.
Yes.
Let's see here what it says. Adams popped up on the injury report Wednesday after missing practice due to an illness. He's questionable to play.
Oh, it's just an illness
against the Chargers. Meanwhile, Jacobs did not practice at all this week due to a quad injury. NFL media reports that his status is, quote, very much in doubt. However, he is officially listed as questionable to play. So you definitely want to monitor that.
This is aggravating. I mean, the situation you had earlier where and then these fantasy leagues leave them at questionable. Like if I'm not mistaken, Justin Herbert in my league that I put him, I couldn't put him on IR because he's listed as doubtful.
Yes,
and in this league he has to be out.
Right. And I would also like to add that the inactives for tonight's game come out about 5:30. So you definitely want to check and see about 5:30. Let's continue.